being just with your I think we'd agree, Avery, right? We agree that the justice in Islam is quite unlike any other kind of justice.
Yes, I agree.
Same Jesus says, hate your mother and hate your father. Luke 14:26.
Abbas, we're not going to open a new topic.
Love your enemy, but hate your mother and father.
Well,
you said it.
I will see you in a couple of weeks, Abbas, if not before then.
Definitely.
Since we've scheduled time to give our arguments about. So, Abbas knows what I'm talking about, but no one else does. Abbas and I have agreed to discuss which of the two scriptures comes from God and give our reasons for that.
You will have the answer today.
You don't. We're going to do that on March 5th or 4th.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All the sisters and brothers, peace be upon all of you. Sisters and brothers from Adam. I called again, of course. I used I translated my name. So I never lied. They say, you know you. I translated my name in Dutch. And it's Altim Warhead. So that's ultimate truth. That's the only way I can speak to those Christians. They be running, especially to people like Christian Prince or Sam Shamoon or Avery, GodLogic. I mean, I give him credit for Thaddeus. He be trying to make it look a little fair. I've been here. First, you will hear him confirm it. First, I've been here waiting for about 15, 20 minutes. Then the brother come here, what's his name? Imran, I believe, came after me, but he'll be speaking. I've been waiting for almost an hour and a half. They will try to avoid me. Another guy will come, will call again, we'll jump in, and we'll talk for 35 minutes, exactly 33 minutes. But they wouldn't let me speak for 5 minutes. You'll witness this, but it's enough. 5 minutes out of there, 4 hours is enough for me to debunk them. Now, they would have cautions, of course. They wouldn't just let me like that. And Avery, just as Allah predicted, as Allah said in the Quran, will run like a zebra, fleeing from the lion. Yes, the lion came and destroyed them. Yes, and Allah has His plans. Now, they planned. They didn't want me to speak, but they end up letting me speak because of the comments. Some guy said, okay, I'm Ultimate Truth, welcome back. Yeah, it's going to be a great stream. Yes, it's be a lot of learning. Listen.
So maybe we'll get to talk to Abbas before then, but if not, thank you for coming on today. Do have 2 other callers, so I want to give some time to someone else.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Take care.
You too.
All right. So we have Anam and we have Altami.
Sorry, it's Anam. It's not Imran. It's Anam.
Before we take any specifics, can you why don't you go first, Anam? Just say who you are.
Sure. Well, I'm just a humble person. I have a bachelor's degree in political science and religion. I live in New York, and actually, I may as well say this now, to be honest with you. Because you guys are doing a great job, by the way. You put on the heat, especially GodLogic. Really knows how to turn up the range. So I'm intimidated a little bit. Let me say that also. But I also want to kind of put this out there before you guys engage with me and before the chat. So I'm a friend of Rob's, by the way, Rob from Central Apologetics. I think he was on your show a week or 2 ago, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So nice to meet you. That's how I came across your podcast. And so I am actually a Trinitarian Muslim. So that's going to, be, I've never met another one. So I'm not saying there's more.
That's very interesting. I definitely am interested in what you have to say, but I want to...
GodLogic shouldn't be laughing or anything, because he got the same kind of belief. Trinitarian Muslim. If you try, and you be trying to pull the Trinity out of the Quran all the time, you forget that. Did you forget it? You're saying that Jesus is God in the Quran, right? So you're trying to pull the Trinity out of the Quran. So if you're Trinitarian and the Quran say anybody believing in the Quran is a Muslim, so yes, you're a Trinitarian Muslim. So God just put the guy in here for the first time. He calling Anam is calling for the first time and is exposing. Watch this, man. Watch this live. This went crescendo. He went and he came and destroyed the foundations of anything you had. We destroyed you. So I just came to finish you up, to prove to you that you're following hearsays, that you're basing your belief on what people think the gospel is, writing the Bible. Listen.
You see who our other caller is first as well?
Yeah, you're going to run now.
Ultimi, are you there?
Watch. GodLogic.
Yes, sir.
Watch him.
It's good old ultimate truth, is it not?
There we go. He's down now.
I miss you, brother.
His head is down. I miss you, brother. Head down.
My name is
I see you've had some experience with ultimate truth, Avery?
He literally cannot get enough of me. He's followed me on Clubhouse.
What?
He's everywhere now. You know.
What did he say? That I can't get enough of him? Come on, bro. You know you're talking to a man, man. You know you can't talk like that, bro. You know, I'm straight, bro. I'm straight. I don't know if you be dreaming or having some kind of visions. Please, just don't talk like that, man. Please.
Everywhere where I am. At least we agreed upon that the Injil and the Torah are not corrupted. At least, right? At least. Okay, so it's a start. It's a start.
All right, so I know you were actually here first, Ultimate, but since I've talked to you several times and I've never talked to Anam before, I want to give him the first opportunity.
All right. I'll mute me up.
Here we go. I will wait here for 1 hour and about 15 minutes. Two people will be speaking for 1 hour and 13 minutes. This Imran here and another guy that will be calling from his job for whatever. But I would not speak 5 minutes. But it's enough. 5 minutes are enough to debunk you. Okay, now we're just gonna go there.
What do you want to talk about?
Assalamu alaikum to all the sisters and brothers. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Rahmanir rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Yes, sisters and brothers, peace be upon all of you. Yes, I believe that you do have answers for the Sunni Muslims when it comes to the Quran confirming the Bible. I believe you're missing two verses that you should be quoting to them. It's going to be 565 and 566, and then there is another verse. I can't come to my mind yet, but I'm going to read those two verses and make some conclusion about it. 566, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. If only Allah says, and I want Abbas to listen to this, please. If only the people of the book believed and lead a righteous life, I, Allah, will remit their sins and admit them in the gardens of bliss. Next verse. If only again, if only they, the people of the book, would uphold the Torah and the Injil and what is sent down therein from their Lord, they would be showered with blessings from above and from beneath their feet. Some of them are righteous, but many of them are evildoers. Now, the conclusion is, GodLogic, Avi quoted earlier, 548, I have given each of you their book, their legislation, their direction, their rights, so that you may compete. I jumped something. If I wanted to make you one community, I would have done that. I don't want to make you one community. I want to make you communities. I give you a different book. Each of you should judge by his book. Now, God is saying here, if only they can uphold the book. They gotta uphold the book. Now, either the Sunni Muslim and Abbas would have said, okay, even if the book is corrupted now, they got to do it. Even with the corrupted book. Okay, I was thinking of 543. They came physically to Prophet Muhammad. So read 543. 543. Why? Why in the hell? That's how God said it, really. Why in the hell? Yes. Why would they ask you to judge among them, i.e., with the Quran? Prophet Muhammad is judging by the Quran, when they have the Torah containing God's laws, and they have chosen to disregard it. They are not believers. So anybody judged by the book. Now, if you're saying that the Bible is the book revealed, whether it is corrupted or not corrupted, 566 say they got to. Now we gotta go to 568 to just end this thing. 568 say, all people of the book, you have no basis. You zero. You absolutely nada. You niente. You niche. You nothing. You renditu. Until you uphold the Torah and the Injil and what is sent down therein. So clearly, Allah throughout the Quran says the people of the book gotta uphold the Torah and the Injil. Now, if they got to, Abbas had to admit that. Now, even if the Bible is, if the Injil is the Bible, even if it is corrupted, even if it is, God is telling them, you gotta judge by it. There's no way around. There is no way around. Now, you fail to realize one thing, sisters and brothers. I had a debate with GodLogic, with Avery, on this topic, on this very exact topic. It's just one mistranslation. Translated the Bible is not the Bible. The Injil is the gospel. It's the Evangelion. It's the L'Evangile. That's the one gospel given to Jesus. If you just would admit it, that ultimate truth from Senegal, that never spoke English in his life, had to teach you that according to John, according to Luke, according to Matthew, according to Mark, that's hearsays. That's what they believe it is. I told him it's no more than Bukhari and Muslim. According to Abu Huraira, according to Aisha, according to Abu Bakr, that's exactly what it is. Now I'm going to quote 393 and 3, chapter 3, verse 93. Sorry. Yes, 393. All food used to be lawful for the children of Israel until Israel himself prohibited certain things before the Torah was sent down. Say, bring the Torah, bring it and read it if you're truthful. Well, because you bring it. If you say somebody bring it, it's because it's not here. It's because you have it some places. Confirmed by 3187. 3187 says, God took a covenant with the people of the book, the Bani Israel. You shall proclaim, you shall open, you shall show to the people the book and never conceal it. But what did they do? Well, what did they do? But they disregarded and they disregarded behind their backs and traded away for a cheap price. What a miserable price. The miserable price is, and the truth is, the Injil, not the Bible, and the Torah are with the Jews, sent to them. God telling them they're hiding it, they need to bring it out. As of today, It's preserved. Now, if we taking it as the Bible, we know the Bible. You know it. I'm not going to teach you that. It means what it means. According to this guy, it means that he's giving his account of what he thought the Bible was. Let's say the Injil was. Mark, the companions of Mark, or the friends of Mark, or the whoever was around Mark, yes, Mark had to be talking about the Injil. Luke had to be talking about it. John had to be talking about it. Matthew had to be talking about it. Yes, people wrote, and they said, this is the gospel according to Mark. This is the gospel according to John. This is about Bible according to Mark, and this is the gospel according to Luke. It's hearsays. It's not sent to you. Throughout the Quran, the Injil is sent to the Bani Israel. That's why it doesn't have, they're hiding their own treasure, their own money, their own book, their own salvation against themselves. That's why God is criticizing.
All right,
so,
all right.
He got enough. Yes, he got.
That's the conclusion.
See that? He got enough of me. After 5 minutes, he'd be listening to these people for 1 hour and 15 minutes. 2 people. I couldn't have 5 minutes. He had cut me off, right? Yes, he's gonna run like a donkey, and he about to leave right now. Watch.
Conclusion. Please, just let me conclude, please. Just let me conclude. Please. Don't do that. Everybody spoke good. Please. Please.
We let you speak for quite some time.
Quite some time.
Are you serious?
Finish in 30 seconds. Finish.
Are you serious? Yes. Are you serious?
So, just please realize, I'm going to read Surah Al-Asr. Al-Asr. God is swearing. But you're cutting me off, though. Please.
Heckler.
What God is swearing by the afternoon, that the man is in perdition. Till, except those who believe in Allah, live a righteous life, and advise to themselves to each other the truth and the patience. Why, by Allah, you know this is the truth. You know this is from in your hearts. This is the truth. The Bible is not sent, the Injil is not sent to you, exclusively sent to the Bani Israel. You are supposed to be waiting for the prophet, for the Ummi prophet, for the Gentiles. He came for us. We Gentiles should be upholding the Quran. The Bani Israel should be the Yahud should be upholding the Torah, and the Nasara, not the Christians, the Nazarenes should be upholding the Injil hiding from themselves. Assalamu alaikum. You don't want the truth. It's on you, brother.
You had 45 seconds before we interrupted.
Oh, I didn't see him upload.
So, thank you.
Anam.
All right, good.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I'm hoping that the Trinitarian Muslim is about now. He just figured it out now. Everything is clear now. Abbas was there at first, trying to justify that when God said they should uphold, they will never be till they uphold the Torah and the Injil, that it's in the past. No, it's in the present time. They came to Prophet Muhammad physically. They said, judge us with the Quran, please. Allah said, no, you cannot judge them by the Quran. They got the Torah, which contains my laws. Go judge by it. If for each of you, I have given dead legislation. So yes, Abbas, please think, brother. Abbas, you're getting there. You see what the Hadith does? You see what the Hadith does? The Hadith took 3.8 billion Christians, get them to believe that Jesus is God. Hearsays, according to. And now we want to take the same steps and go follow them. Follow the Hadith books. Where are we going? We're heading to be worshiping Prophet Muhammad. The same exact thing is happening. The Sunni Muslims are worshiping Prophet Muhammad just like the Christians are worshiping Jesus. They wouldn't say it. They would say, no, we don't worship him. By you creating your own laws and following them and attributing them to Prophet Muhammad, you made a God out of him. No doubt about that.
I just wanted to tell you, I have a stream to get on with Chris Claus in about an hour, and I need to go get some food. So I enjoyed myself.
No, you didn't.
This was fun. This was amazing.
No, you didn't.
It was a pleasure meeting Anam. I can't wait to speak to you again, bro. and like just pick your brain a little bit more and see where you're at on your journey, because I'm really like intrigued by this. Rob, is always amazing seeing and hearing that voice of yours, and I want to say God bless you to everybody in the chat. But yeah, so I'll be live again in an hour with Chris Claus on his channel. I'm just really hungry.
No.
I can't. I don't have.
You're angry, brother. You're not hungry. You're angry. It's anger. You will run like a donkey. Just like Allah said. Fleeing. You're like a zebra. What's against the miracle of Allah? You're like a zebra fleeing from the lion. The lion came. You're gonna, hey, what did you do? You ran like a little. Look, watch the comments. Watch. See that? GodLogic is running. Avery does not like ultimate truth. Of course, he won't like me.
Ultimate fart right now.
Hey, no worries. Thank you for coming on. I forgot to say this at the start, but everyone, if you're not already subscribed to GodLogic Apologetics, the link is in the video description. Be sure to check that out. The main thing he does on his channel is conversations like this. Well, that and shorts. He's been doing a lot of shorts lately. But definitely, if you enjoy this stream, check out that channel. I'll try to jump on one of his streams here in the near future. So,
run, Avery.
I love you guys. Love you, everybody in the chat. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Run, Avery.
Right,
bye. The lion has come.
right.
The zebra disappeared.
I've had this conversation with Ultimate before. So is there anything you would like to say about what he just said, Rob?
We had it before on the DCCI channel. It was 7 Christians. Go watch it, sisters and brothers. David Wood himself, Anthony Rogers, Hatun Tash, the couple, sister and whatever in Christ, or whatever they are. 7 Christians. They try to tell me that the Bible is the gospel. Yeah. They call it the gospel. They know the 4 gospels fighting, each claiming to be the gospel. They couldn't figure out which one. At least do that. Go figure out, is it Mark? Is it Luke? Is it John? Is it Matthew? Pick one. Or make sure you come up with at least something and say, this is the gospel. Take something from John, something from Luke, something from Mark, and something from Matthew, and come up with something and call it the gospel. You're following the Bible, Hadith book, Bukhari, Muslim. It had to be starting with the big B, the Bible, just like Bukhari.
And if not, that's
I have no comments.
Zero comments.
Unless there's something specific that he said that maybe you can remind me.
So the thesis here is that the gospel was sent only for the children of Israel. He's been wondering what the Torah was sent for, but no worries about that. And that it has been hidden. And what we have in our gospels is not the real gospel. The real gospel is hidden somewhere. And so I'll just ask Ultimate Truth the same question I've asked before. And do you have any evidence for this outside of the Quran?
I'll make a comment on that quickly.
Okay.
If he's saying that the gospel that's literally in our New Testament today, and Anam, for example, he's heard me in recent Clubhouse discussions I've uploaded, where I had a light bulb moment a month or 2 ago on this. Now that I've become quite familiar, like with all this, again, when I mentioned a moment ago about all this like writing and research, I suppose I've reached a level of like having an eye for picking up certain details or thinking about certain things in this regard, like how, say, critical scholarship and how the critical scholars will think about these issues. Yeah, I just have to wonder: are we like 2 ships miss each other in the middle of the night, in the sense that, yeah, maybe the New Testament was not known to either Muhammad or the Muslims. And therefore, any engagement with the quote-unquote Injil is actually the literature that postdates the New Testament, or basically the first century. And it thinks that material is the Injil when really it's not. And ergo, if you reverse psychologize or reverse engineer the argument, he's just making my point that, yeah, if the New Testament that we have today is not the Injil, then you have to believe that it is a corrupted form of the Injil. But ironically,
no, it's not. You know it's not. If Allah revealed the Injil to the Jews, and you went to Greece to write anything, Hearsays, this is what the Injil is. 4 people. It's not 4. You picked 4. It's a Barnabas. It's a lot of gospels. You know, it's tons of gospels. You only picked 4 of them, put them in a book, and said this is the gospel. They're contradicting. You know that. The story behind around the crucifixion. Who went to the tomb? Was it wide open? Who went there? Was it Mary Magdalene by herself? Or did she go with other Mary and the mother of James? How did you find the tomb? Was it wide open? Was it an angel in there? Was it a little kid in there? All different stories, all hearsays. They missed all. One reported an earthquake. One reported then the goats came out of the tombs, invaded the village. Are you serious? Come on now. No, the Bible is not a corrupted gospel. The Bible is a hearsays, hadith, just like the Kutuba Sita. You got your Kutuba 4, and you following it, and you worshiping human writings, human beings. The Bible tells you you're dogs, freaking dogs, according to the Bible. You're Gentiles, right? The Bible tells you, wait for a Gentile prophet. He came with the Quran, and you're rejecting him. Now you're claiming to be Jews. Don't go to the Gentiles. Do not go to the Gentiles. Stay within the 12 tribes of Judah. No. You want to go. Hey, it's your choice, bro. But you...
It's affirming my point. But at the same time, you're being ahistorical, because the New Testament predates the so-called Injil that the Quran thinks is the Injil, which is the Apocrypha, the Gnostic texts, all that stuff. So, because and again, my challenge is, and the reason, so in conclusion, the reason why I raise this, the more I've read in Second Temple literature and the Apocrypha stuff, and all this intertextual backing with respect to the New Testament. So scholars like currently, the late Michael Heiser, who passed earlier this week, like his works is huge on this intertextual overplay of say like how the New Testament authors utilize, say, the Book of Enoch in a lot of their writings, right? Now that I've had now that I've reached a level of comfort, I suppose, of again having an eye for picking up certain things. So I just thought to myself, why don't we just look at Adam to Jesus in the Quran based on what the Quran thinks Adam and Jesus is? Like from Adam to Jesus, all the biblical characters. Do we have any overlap with the Bible? And to my, for Anam's case, my shock and horror is, hang on, there is no biblical overlap. Yes, there's a biblical overlap if you're seeing it through the lens of the Apocrypha and the Second Temple text and the Pseudepigrapha and the Gnostic text. But those texts are the primary texts that the Quran utilizes, or the author of the Quran utilizes, that in turn those texts are then relying on, say, the biblical narrative. because that's how the texts get those characters anyway. Because ultimately it's the biblical narrative that gives those characters, but it's these extra biblical texts that embellish the stories and write different things that's happened, or even brand new stuff that's happened that doesn't occur in the biblical text, that appears in the Quran. So yeah, I mean, you're proving my point, or the thesis that I'm hypothesizing here. So
what Rob is getting at is that the Bible has been abundantly studied. The Islamic texts have been studied to a lesser degree.
It's going to take a little time, but he'll start asking me questions.
Studied.
God's plans.
You're coming to us with a theory that has precisely zero historical support for it. The only thing, as far as I know, you can back it with is your own interpretation.
Wallah,
of what the
he admitted it in his exchange with Anam. He admitted there's no proof whatsoever that historically the Bible, I mean, it can't. For it to be historically linked to Jerusalem, to Nazareth, it had to be written somehow in Aramaic or in Hebrew. You got something written in Greek, bro. In Greek. Now they're claiming that Jesus preached in Greek to the Jews. That's ridiculous. Like somebody will preach in Spanish to Americans because they speak some Espanol in South America. Like if you go to Texas or things, yeah, a lot of people now somebody come here to preach in America in in Spanish. That's what they're saying basically. Even if some people spoke Greek. Wallah.
Really means.
In fact, to give a quick analogy, so Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, okay? This is because I was watching it with a friend the other day. Actually, no, it's Christiana. You know, she finally saw the Peter Jackson trilogy. She loved it. But I had to also inform her that Tolkien, there's a lot of creative license that Peter Jackson did on Tolkien's original work. That's what the Apocrypha and the Pseudepigrapha does with respect to the Bible. So the Bible is Tolkien, and then the Apocrypha, Pseudepigrapha, Gnostic literature is Peter Jackson. You know, Peter Jackson's like interpretation of Tolkien's work.
Bro, the Bible is telling you it's not sent to you. Forget it.
The original work.
That's the bottom line. Apocrypha, whatever you saying, I don't know nothing about it. This brother here, Anam, he got a bachelor's degree in theology or whatever. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and get a PhD. You're zero to Allah if you don't just read the book. The God didn't ask you to go listen to what people are saying. God is asking, Afala yatadabbarun al-Quran. Do you not reflect on the Quran? You'd read it, and you be having a PhD. Those guys be having PhD in the universities. You don't teach the Quran in the universities. No. You transmit the Quran to people. Let them read it. That's how you get your PhD with the Quran. Not going to school for it. No. Read.
But really,
Iqra.
No. Tolkien is the original work, and Peter Jackson's just doing an interpretation of his work.
So, my question back to you, Ultimate, is, well, first of all, I wanted to point, when you said that you only got 5 minutes to talk in the chat, and other people got longer, well, no one said that you were done. But this is a discussion, not a monologue.
They monologued, bro. Discussion, yeah, discuss with me for 30 minutes. They monologued. That guy, I'm having a problem saying his name. It's Anam. It's a chapter called Anam too in the Quran. But still, I just never met a man called Anam. Come on, man. Anam monologued for 30 plus minutes. The other guy monologued for 30 plus minutes. I could not have 5 minutes. Come on, man. Don't try.
Now we're having a discussion, and my question is, do you have any evidence for this? Because my belief in Christianity is based on historical evidence, Rob's belief in Christianity is based on historical evidence. Anam is very interested in historical evidence. So that's what we're interested in here. I don't need to dispute your understanding of the Quran because it's irrelevant. Even if I grant that you're understanding the Quran correctly, all you're telling me is that.
How can you say that my understanding of the Quran is irrelevant? And when you're giving me your understanding of the Quran, you're giving me your understanding. You're trying to show Trinity in the Quran. That's your understanding, right? You're trying to show me that Jesus is God in the Quran. That's your understanding, right? Now, how am I going to say that is irrelevant? That is irrelevant. No, it's not. It cannot be. I'm giving you something you don't have no objections. You running away. Now, watch. Look, where is he going? Instead of talking about, just watch. It's just ridiculous.
You believe in something different than other Muslims, but you still have no evidence for it. So the title of this stream is "What is your best evidence that Islam is true?" And I throw it back to you. What evidence do you want to bring?
Thank you, brother. First of all, I appreciate you. You and GodLogic, you're the only two that let me speak. Yes, I do appreciate you. I do. I know how Sunni Muslim. I'm in a clubhouse thing. I know what Sunni Muslims do to us, Quran followers, and to you guys. I've seen it, and what Christians do. Like, I mean, all of them. I don't want to call names because I know you hate people to say names in here. That's fine when it comes to saying negativity about them.
I was talking about Sam Shamoon. I was talking about Christian Prince. I was talking about Rob Christian, Adam Seeker, Hatun Tash. I was talking about all those people. None of them would let me speak. Zero. None. Prince would now have sworn on the Bible that he will never debate me again, even though he debated me 2 times after that, after he swore by the Bible. But now he's still saying, no, I won't debate him. I got 2 debates with him after that. But he's still claiming that because he swore on the Bible that he will not debate me because I insulted my prophet. Christian Prince Alibi excuse not to debate me is because I have insulted Prophet Muhammad.
Told you that before, and I'm renewing it. You're the only one. Even though, I can tell. You didn't let me enough time. Brothers spoke. The guy who was at work spoke for 35 minutes. I've been here before. That's okay. That's okay. It's not a big deal. But the proof now, you're asking me what evidence do I have? The only evidence we have are the scriptures.
Yes,
now,
sir.
If I can prove it to you, if I can prove to you that the Quran it cannot be human made, you will take anything said in the Quran. Just give me one objection. Tell me ultimate truth. I'm agreeing with you that the Quran does affirm the Injil. I'm agreeing with you that the Quran.
Was that a question for me? Because I can answer it. Yes, if you could prove the Quran is from God, then I would believe what it has to say.
I give you one example. I just give you one or two examples. It might take about 2 or 3 minutes, but hey, I got it. God is naming people. God is just calling people a lot of names. Abraham, Moses, Adam. Anyway, he's telling. I would love to say something about the objection earlier about if this was from other than Allah, it's going to be numerous contradictions. I would love to say something about this. But for now, in your question, to prove to you that the Quran is from God and cannot be human-made. Now, you're just going to remember that the Quran was revealed for 23 years. God is calling names. He's calling Abraham. He's calling Isaac here, Jesus here, Adam here. You're thinking this is just random. I'm going to give you the case of Noah. Noah. This is going to fix the number of chapters in the Quran. It's going to fix that the Quran cannot be man-made. No way. Noah is in the Quran 43 times. I can give you, if you want the verses, I can give you all the verses. And just tell me I'm wrong anywhere you want. You can verify that. Every single verse. And you can tell me, yes, you're right, Ultimate. Every single one of you listeners or anything, you will confirm this 43 times the name Noah, 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 Noah in the Quran. In 28 chapters. And in 43 verses, like in chapter 11, it is there 9 times. In chapter Noah, which is chapter 71, is there 3 times. Total 43 times in 28 chapters. Now, the last chapter that contains the name Noah is the chapter Noah. Chapter Noah is what chapter? I said 43 times in 28 chapters. 43, 28, 70, 71. Chapter Noah is 71. Chapter Noah is the last chapter to show me one chapter after chapter 71 that has the name Noah. You want? How many chapters is that? 43. From 72 to 114 is 43 chapters. So the last 43 chapters of the Quran do not have Noah whatsoever. And I just said there are 43 Noahs in the Quran. Now it's 71 chapters left. From chapter 1, Fatiha, to chapter Noah, there are 28 of them contains 43 Noahs. What is 71 minus 28? 43. So in the first 71 chapters, 43 has no Noah, 28 has 43 Noahs, and the last 43 chapters have no Noahs.
Of course, you can remind me. Of course, I couldn't. You see the way I'm speaking? I know at any time I could be cut. I'm just trying to I cut sentences in the middle, not finishing them up. All of these, because of the pressure they're putting on me, knowing that I can feel, I can see it. I know they will be cutting me off in a minute. I know that. And you, I was going to say that yes, 43, 43, 43. On the first 71 chapters, 28 of them has 43 Noah, and 43 of them has 0 Noah, and the last 43 have no Noah. But it changes 19 times. You see how you go from chapter 3 to chapter 4 to chapter 7 to chapter this. It changes 19 times. Just like how Allah said, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. The way those changes, that's how Allah doing here, over here, bring Noah, 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 regularly changing 19 times. Allah, go check it out.
You tell me this from God, from other than God. Muhammad, 3 times his death is prophesied in the Quran. Only 3 times, Prophet Muhammad, this is the second example. Only 3 times God said to Muhammad, I will do it. The same way he said to Jesus, I am terminating your life. He said to Muhammad, I will terminate your life 3 times. Chapter 40, verse 77, you can verify it. Chapter 13, verse 40, you can verify it. That's the expression. Or if you will terminate your life. And chapter 10, verse 46. Chapter 40, chapter 13, and chapter 10. 40 years old he was sent. 13 years he spent in Makkah, chapter 13. 10 years he spent in Medina. It's 63. So he died in the 11th year of Hijrah. 11th year. Chapter 63, he was 63, 40 plus 13 and plus 10, that's 63. That's the number of years he lived. And if you go to chapter 63 now, chapter 63 now. In chapter 63 had 11 verses. And that 11th verse is the one that said, your time have come, you gone. You will be 63 years old. It will be the year 11 of Hijrah, and you will be dying. This, I got numerical verses. I got a million.
We just going to read one of those verses, 1040. I mean, maybe you can read all 3 of them. 1046, God said, whether we show you some of the retribution we promise them, or terminate you, or kill, to us is their ultimate return. To Allah, wallah, is our ultimate return. God witnesses everything we do. This is let's go to 40 what? 40:77. Chapter 40 verse 77. Hey, it's 3 times. You're going to find it 5 times or 7 times. 40:77. You shall be patient, for God promises is truth. Whether we show you some of the retribution we have promised for them or terminate your life before that, they will be returned to us. Now you go to 13, chapter 13, verse 40. 13:40. Sorry, it's taking a little thing. I'm reading a book and it's in the dark. 13:40. God said, whether we show you what we promised to them or terminate your life before that, your sole mission is to deliver the message. It is us who will call them to account. Allah will call you to account. Now, chapter 63 now, verse 11. Why chapter 63 has only 11 verses? Now think about that. Last verse. God said to Prophet Muhammad, verse 11, God never delays the appointed time of death for any soul. God is fully cognizant of everything you do. 11th verse of chapter 63. Yes, it's prophesied in the Quran. He tried to deny it. He ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
God said,
So, yep. So we got your argument. This is going to be the numerical evidence, numerical miracles, however you want to phrase it. There's several things I want to say about this, but first, Ask Truth just pointed out that you're relying on the Hadith to determine Muhammad's age. You don't believe that the Hadith are accurate. Now you're using the Hadith dates to try to argue for the accuracy of the Quran. So I want you to explain that inconsistency first.
it's not an inconsistency. I'm telling you, I never quoted the hadith. I'm telling you, Allah said to Muhammad,
well, where'd you get Muhammad's age from if it wasn't from a hadith? The Quran certainly doesn't say anything about Muhammad.
Did I just quote the verses?
I just told you. You will be living 63 years old. You'll be at the age of 40. I will send you.
Where did you get the age of 40? Where did you get the age of 63? Telling me isn't not. You're giving me a number, but where are you getting that number from? That number's not found in the Quran.
Listen. First of all, you just gotta let me elaborate. Chapter 40, I said, at 40 he was sent. I will send you. I will tell you how I got it.
Right.
Chapter 13.
Okay. I don't want to move on. So let's just focus on this 40, right? Chapter 40. Muhammad sent at age 40. You're trying to draw some sort of evidence from the fact that chapter number 40 has something to do with Muhammad being sent at age 40. How do you know Muhammad was sent at age 40?
The Quran. I just quoted a verse. Let me tell you. Okay, let me finish.
Wait.
Let me finish.
He won't let me speak.
Bro, you gotta. If you ask me a question,
let me just understand. Let me just understand what you're saying. You're saying that the Quran says that Muhammad was sent at age 40.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I said.
That's what I'm saying, and I can prove it to you in the Quran.
Okay.
If you let me speak, you just need to let me speak. But if you carry me off like that, I can't elaborate.
Well, no. So I'm ultimate. This is a dialogue. Okay. This is how
I understand that. That's why I'm answering your questions.
I don't want you to make 20 points and then we have to go back and talk about each point individually. I want to take it one point at a time. So if you want to give some evidence that Muhammad is 40 according to the Quran, I will listen.
Okay. Chapter 40 starts the Hamims. The initials Hamim is from chapter 40 to chapter 46, 7 of them. 40 to 46 is Hamim, 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 Hamim. Guess what is chapter 47? Chapter Muhammad. 7 chapters. 40. Like I told you, he was sent at 40. 40, chapter 40. The 7th Hamims, Hamim, 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 Hamim. Chapter 13 is the only Alif Lam Mim Sad.
Alif Lam Mim Ra.
Chapter 10 starts the Alif Lam Ras.
Yes.
Alif Lam Ra, Alif Lam Ra. Look. Alif Lam Ra is 5 times. It's chapter 10, 11, and 12. Chapter 13 in between, Hijrah. You gotta move out of Mecca, go to Medina. And then chapter 14 and 15 come back to Alif Lam Ra. I can prove it to you. This is not a big deal.
I'm not seeing an age from any of this. I'm not seeing an age.
Open the
You're
book.
trying to make an age relative to another age. I'm not seeing any age for Muhammad at any point in his life in the Quran. Even if I grant these totally arbitrary pointing out of different numbers in the Quran, which I won't. I mean, I would dispute that absolutely. I'm actually a mathematician by trade. This is total nonsense. But I can't even do that because I can't even get to the argument to begin with because I don't even know where this 40 is coming from, or age 53 or 63 or whatever other ages you cited. There are no ages, so there can be no coincidence on the ages matching up with numbers in the Quran if we don't even know what the ages are to begin with.
Okay, forget the ages. Forget it. Forget the age of Muhammad.
We'll throw that one out. That one's gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, do you have any objection?
You know why I'm saying this, right? Just to be able to get another a chance to talk about another miracle. I know the miracle, hit you hard. 3 verses in the Quran. I will terminate your life, Prophet Muhammad. 40, 13, and 10. At 40, he was sent. It starts the Hamims. He spent 13 years in Mecca and migrated. That's the only Alif Lam Mim Ra. And he stayed 10 years in Medina. That's the Alif. That's the Alif Lam Ras. That's it. You can't run away from this. What I was gonna say is the verses now. If you add the verses, chapter 40, verse 77, chapter 13, verse 40, and chapter 10, verse 46. 77 and 40 and 46, that's 163. 163, that's the 47th prime number. Chapter 47 again comes back, that's chapter Muhammad. I got millions of proof, brother and sisters.
When it comes to Noah, you think God put 43 Noah in?
All right, so I'm going to assume there's 43 Noahs. Sometimes these.
I mean, just go to Google. Just go. I can give you every word if you want me to.
No. I'm granting it. I'm granting it because it's irrelevant. I'm just going to say.
No, if it is like that.
Mathematical things. I'm granting there's 43. Can you let me finish, please?
Yes. Sorry.
I'm saying there's 43 Noahs. I haven't confirmed it. I'm willing to believe you there's 43 Noahs in the text. So then you made observations about the number of surahs that come before the first mention, the number that come after. This is what's going to happen with all of these mathematical things. They work when they work, and they don't work when they don't work, and only when they work are they pointed out. There's nothing special about there being the same number of chapters before or after. The numbers of the chapters is totally arbitrary. They're organized from longest to shortest, with the exception of Surah 1, and maybe every once in a while where there was an error made from 2 surahs that are almost identical in length. There's no order of revelation. Muhammad never said to order them in a certain way. The numbers are just arbitrary. Even if they weren't arbitrary, you're gonna
do it from your Bible, bro.
In any text.
If they're arbitrary, go ahead and do it from your Bible. No, you won't. Bro, if you deny mathematics, man, if you deny that 1 + 1 is 2, hey, it's over with.
If you look hard enough. I can guarantee it. So this will be my challenge to you. You pick a text that you want me to look at. I will find a similar coincidence, and I can't do it live because it takes time to try to find a coincidence that you want to emphasize. But you pick a text, I will look at the text you picked, and if I find a similar numeric coincidence in that text, that will demonstrate that the argument needs more substantiation than there exists these numbers. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I understand what he's saying, but what I'm saying is this: we was talking about earlier, if this cannot be human made. As of today, I can give you the number. The first chapter, the whole Baqarah The biggest chapter in the Quran does not have one time no, not once. Find one time no in Baqarah. 333 is the first chapter. 4163, 684, chapter 7, verse 69, 970, 1071, 1125. I can go all the way to 7126. That's the last chapter. Now this being revealed for 23 years. And you can add Genesis the way that now, chapter Noah, now think about Noah, chapter Noah. What is Noah about? Noah is about the flood, right? Right? It's clear in the Quran, right. It's clear even in the Bible. Right. Sure. Now, chapter Noah, do you know what chapter Noah represent? The percentage of water on earth, and the number of verses of chapter Noah represent the percentage of land on earth. Google it. Google, what is the percentage of water on earth, and what is the percentage of land on earth?
Google it. I'm familiar with these types of arguments. And the same
You're familiar with nothing, brother.
It doesn't matter what the specifics are. The same objection is going to hold. There's an infinite number of different ways you can look at numbers and rearrange them and come up with what by itself is highly unlikely. I will grant that it's highly unlikely that there's 43 Noahs. That is irrelevant. That when you're calculating a probability, you have to look at the scope of the possible domain. So it doesn't matter how. Let's say it's 1,000,000 to 1 chance that Noahs would fit all the patterns you say, and it would take some difficulty in higher math to calculate the exact probability. Let's just say it's 1,000,000 to 1. Well, if there's 1,000,000 different possible conclusions, like there's 1,000,000 different possible ways you can rearrange numbers, and there's actually an infinite number, but if there's 1,000,000 different ways, then you would expect there to be one that's only 1 out of 1,000,000 chance of it being that way. So these are mathematical things to substantiate. So that doesn't say that it cannot possibly work, but to substantiate it, you need to have an objective basis on which to develop the field. So let me. People have tried to do the same sort of thing from the Bible. There is a famous work called the Bible Code. In this case, it was a Jewish person trying to confirm the Old Testament. They fed all of the letters of the Hebrew Bible into a computer. They formed new words based on every third character, every fifth character, whatever, like that. So like every third character, they looked for a word. And then they looked for the shortest occurrence of famous rabbis' names in the text. And then they looked for other words that were nearby. And they said, this is extremely unlikely that the correct attributes for all these famous rabbis would be right near their name. And in this case, they were very good and very sophisticated, and they actually calculated the probabilities. And they actually stood up to scrutiny on the probabilities themselves. But the problem is that the data is cherry-picked. And here you haven't even proven these things are unlikely. And you still have the cherry-picking problem. You only will observe it when it works. Like, for example, people like to go to iron, and they say that, iron's mentioned 146 times, or, however you work out the exact math to get it to equal to its atomic number. It doesn't work with gold. Gold is mentioned in the Quran. It doesn't work with silver. Silver's mentioned in the Quran. It doesn't work with copper. Copper's mentioned in the Quran. No one cares that it doesn't work for any of those things. But because
You're stupid. You're just dumb. Is there any chapter in the Quran called the silver or called the gold? No. It's a chapter in the Quran called the iron. It's in the middle of the Quran, chapter 57 out of 114. That's right, the middle, right? 114 by 2 is 57. As God told you, the iron is in the middle of the earth. Middle. We're talking about earth, right? We're talking about Noah, right? Some people objected in his now video. No, it's not 71% of the land that is water. Covered with water. You know what it means. That's dumb. The The numbers was there. You never contested them. Never. When Google says, or history, or when people say 71% on Earth is water, nobody ever contested it. Now they got the proof. They say, no. It's 100% land, then 71% covered with water. I'll give it to you. Let's say 71% covered with water and 28% not covered with water. How about that? You can escape. Run!
Kind of sort of works with iron, and it's actually off by 1. It's somehow a miracle. It just doesn't work that way. Human beings are amazing at detecting patterns. And because of our amazing ability to detect patterns, we sometimes detect patterns that aren't actually there.
And knowing that every word is coded in the Quran. By Allah, I will make a challenge to that. I will research, inshallah, in the word gold in the Quran, the word silver in the Quran, and I will show you a miracle 19 about that. You're affirming things. You're saying it's not. You don't know. Did you search? No, you didn't. You even can read Arabic. How would you know? You're saying it's not. You even didn't do no research on it. And I make it a job, my mission, inshallah, I will make a video on gold and silver, miracle 19 on gold and silver in the Quran. Inshallah, Rabbi. God is exposing you, wallah.
That's what these mathematic things boil down to. To actually form an argument, you would need an objective basis on to decide when, on what you're searching for, because you can search for Noah being there 43 times and there being a relationship between the different 43s. It doesn't mean anything. Noah could have been there 32 times, and there could have been a relationship with the number 32. There's an infinite space without any criteria to judge these miracle claims.
So it's a coincidence. I'll give you another one. God said this is from God, right? God said the Quran is from God, right? If it was from anything other than God, you would have found numerous contradictions, right? It's from God. He said a million times, Tamzil min Rabbil Alameen, this from the Lord of the universe. Some guy in the Quran said, no, this is nothing but human made. In chapter 74, some guy said, this is nothing but human made. God told him that 19 is going to prove to you that this is not human made. 19 is going to prove to the world. We speak in the universal language, mathematics. Every chapter has so many verses. Some got 3, the smallest and the biggest got 286. You think it's random. Now I want every single one of you to go home and do this. See if 19 will prove it to you. Write down chapter 1 is Fatiha. Followed by how many verses? 7. Followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then write down 2. Followed by how many verses? 1 to 286. All the way to chapter 114. Write down 114 and followed by 6 verses in it. Followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a number long of 12,692 digit number. It's a multiple of 19.
Okay.
19 is a prime number.
That one I can define easily for you. You know what the probability of a number being a multiple of 19 is?
0.
No, it's 1 out of 19. 1 out of every 19 numbers is a multiple of 19.
Of course.
It's 5.
You would not know that.
Now, this
You're
is a
stupid, man.
12,000 digit number. 12,000.
It's irrelevant how long the digit is.
Okay. Hey, bro, it's on you.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant how long is the other digits. 10 digits, that's a billion. Just think about it. 10 digits, that's a billion. I'm talking about 12,692. It's miles and miles and miles. Nobody. And he's going to claim that 1,400 years ago, people can divide a 12,000 digit number by 19. As of today, nobody can do it. You need a machine, brother. Nobody can manually divide a 12,000, that the way I said it, 1 followed by 127, 2 followed by 1 to 286, all the way to, like when you go to chapter 27, followed by 1 to 93. You go to chapter, let's say 112, followed by 1 to 5, etc. to 114, followed by 1 followed by 1 to 6, because there are 6 verses in those, in that chapter. 12,000 digit divided by 19 on the dot. And you telling me now this is a coincidence? Yes, keep saying coincidence till till you die, brother.
1 out of every 19th number is a multiple.
It's
of
5%.
It doesn't matter how long it is. And notice again that you've made an arbitrary choice of putting the numbers next to each other. Why didn't you just add them up? Why didn't you just count how many verses there are? Is the number of verses in the Quran a multiple of 19?
Yes, sir.
Well, that didn't work. So we tried.
Yes, it works. 6,346 verses. Add them up. Go chapter 1, 7 verses, plus chapter 2, 286. So 7 plus 286, etc. all the way to chapter 114 is going to be 6 plus 6. It's going to be 6,346 divided by 19 on the dot, 334. The number of chapters, of course, 114 divided by 6 on the dot is going to be 6. Divided by 19 is 6. Yes. Allah in the Quran, 2,698. Divided by 19, 142 on the dot. If you just take the verse numbers, that's the verse numbers where Allah is at. It's going to be, I forgot, but it's going to be 19. Yes. Just the numbers of the verses. Allah fixing the chapters, fixing the verses, fixing the words inside the sentences, the expressions inside every single chapter. Everything is coded 19. It's a coded book, Allah says. To make sure they delivered, I counted everything in it. Chapter 72, verse 28.
Something else. Oh, let's take the chapter number and put all those in a row. Does that work? No. Let's put all the verses. Does that work? No. Oh, if we do the chapters and verses, that works. This is the miracle.
God look at rabbis to make a miracle of number 19, right? To copy from the rabbi.
Allah said He's Al-Awwal, He's Al-Akhir. He's the Alpha and the Omega.
Okay, so I have a related question for you, Ultimate.
I was going to say here, of course, he's going to cut me off. Allah said He's the Awwal and the Akhir. Awwal is the Alpha, Akhir is the Omega. Awwal is the first, Akhir is the last. How do you spell Awwal in Arabic? A-W-L. Alif, Waw, Lam. The A is 1, the W is 6, the Lam is 30. It's 37. 37 is 10, 10 is 1. Wherever you go, 1 is the first. 9, wherever you go, is the last. Now think about it. Arabs are only sharing numerically with the world only the 1 and the 9. Everything else is different. Only the 1 and the 9. Now the 9 is the last, of course. Now 9 is akhir. The alif, the ha, and the ara. The alif is 1, the ha is 600, and the ra is 200. Is 801. 8 and 1 is 9. That's the akhir. Now the wahad, though Allah is 1. Awal is the first, but ahad is 1. The only one God. No Trinity, 1. How do you spell wahad? The waw, the alif, the ha, and the dal. The waw is 6, the alif is 1, is 7, the ha is 5, the ha is 8, is 15, and the dal is 4, is 19. Al-awwal wal-akhir, the first and the last, 1 and 9, al-wahid, 19. You put 19 together, 1 and 9 is 10, 10 is 1. That's the one and only God, Allah. I told you I got a million proof, bro.
The verse numbers inspired? I mean, are the chapter numbers inspired? Well, either question, actually. Are the chapter numbers inspired or are the verse numbers inspired? Or are those
I just
Revelation? No,
I just prove it. You're writing down one as chapter
you
one.
proved that one out of the infinite number of different ways.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Arranged numbers. No, ultimate. This is very important. If the verse numbers are not inspired, then there is no then there is
the verse number are inspired.
Of there being a mathematical number based.
They're inspired. I just 6,346 divided by 19 is 334.
Numbers.
Stop lying, bro. You liar.
Inspired. So you have to start the assumption they're inspired. Yes?
Can a human being write a book like that 1,400 years ago? Yes. Just the number.
Of course. They would have a 1 out of 19
You could not write down 12,692 numbers divided by 19. You could not. Come on now.
Come on.
Please.
Yes.
You're not listening to me.
He knows
it. Listening to me. It doesn't matter how many digits are in the number. In a 2-digit number, there's a 1 out of 19 chance it's a multiple of 19. In a 3-digit number, there's a 1 out of 19 chance it's a multiple of 19. In a 4-digit number, there's a 1 out of
1 out of 19 over here is 1 out of 100 though in the Quran.
No, it's 1 out of 19.
Well, I mean, it's a 1 out of 100 though. What I meant to say is,
you started with 19. You started with 19.
What I meant to say was, it's 100 out of 100 in the Quran.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
she says 1 out of 19. So it's 5 out of 100%. In the Quran, it's 100%, 19. 100%. If you would let me proceed.
19 are God in it.
You need to answer this question. Are the verse numbers inspired? Are the chapter numbers inspired?
I said yes. I just proved it to you.
Yes, because no human inspired. Is the order inspired? Is the verse,
yes,
chapter order inspired?
By the example I give you, if I can have 30 seconds to answer, by the example I just gave to you, 114 chapters, Noah is proven to you that there are 114 chapters. Chapter 43, it had to be 43 behind Noah. Chapter Noah 71, it had to be 43 chapters behind that. From 72 to 114, that's 43.
Just repeating yourself.
I'm telling you.
I can come up with identical patterns in any other text.
I can come up. I didn't come up with anything.
Start with 19.
It's right there for you to check.
19.
You're full of it,
no
bro.
Objective reason why you should put the chapter number and then the verse number and then the next chapter number and the next verse number. You could have done that in quite a variety of ways. Like I said, you could have put just the chapter numbers. You could have actually added the chapter numbers. You could have put just the verse numbers. You could have actually added the verse numbers together. You could have arranged them in from order from last to first. You could put verse number and then chapter. You could do all kinds of different order of rearranging things. None of those are going to work. The only one that works is the one that you're going to cite. This is the definition of cherry picking the data.
Let me prove to you that the verse and the chapter numbers are from God. I'll give you a random chapter like that. Chapter 93. Chapter 27.
Except it's not going to be. It's not going to be random because you're going to pick something that you already know.
You're going to let me talk though. Yes, it's going to work in every chapter. 1, 2, 3, every single one. Pick one.
266.
No, pick any chapter.
263.
Pick any chapter. What?
Surah Al-Baqarah 63. Ayah 63.
63. Okay. I just quoted that one. So he would say you've already 63 is the number of years of Prophet Muhammad. 11 is the year he's gonna die. 11th year of Hijrah.
Where are you getting those numbers from?
I want to go put that. I want to go. No.
You already threw those out. You already threw those out when you gave support.
Yeah. But he picked it. Let me pick one.
I could say Muhammad's 62 if I wanted him to be 62 for this example to work. You can't.
Please,
you have to have some basis for those numbers.
Hold on. Let me read this.
50, V,
Hold on.
17.
Okay.
Let me copy for the Jewish Talmud. So God need the rabbis to make Quran miraculous, and that story for chapter 263 was copied from Babylonian Talmud that did not even exist in time of the Christ. It was invented in the 3rd century and put about 5 or 6th century in the Babylonian Talmud. So that verse 263 is from the Talmud. So God need a rabbi to make miraculous Quran. Are you crazy?
Okay, you can make vain claims. It doesn't matter. Everyone heard this will go and verify it, and they will know it's truth. Now let me give you chapter 20.
Hey, everyone go and verify this. Pick actual random numbers, and do the
Okay,
things
let me see, though.
ultimate truth has. Give yourself.
Do you realize that? Do you realize that?
Hey,
do you realize that if you would have just moved one chapter, or you would have added one verse to any chapter, or you just any chapter, you just added one verse.
One
hold on.
chapter.
Hold on, though. I mean, let me speak, though, bro.
Yes. Oh man, sorry.
If you want to change,
Sorry.
Your guy that invented that story, Khalifa, he was killed because he was messed up with the Quran. He was added some and they killed him.
Ultimate Truth actually is a follower of Rashid Khalifa, I believe.
Chapter 27 is called chapter An-Naml. Why is it called An-Naml? The Naml, what is it in English? The Naml.
I really don't need another example. There are thousands of these examples.
Yes. You're tired of it. You said it's.
Okay,
Hey, you said that was a coincidence. Coincidence does not repeat, bro. That's why you're running from them.
See, though, just let me give me 10 seconds. That's all I want.
Okay.
10 seconds.
So give your example. This will be the last one, and I'll explain.
Okay. The last example I will give is chapter. I could give A. You could give me any. Chapter 2, chapter 30, chapter 50, chapter 114, any. But chapter 27 is chapter An-Naml. Why is it called An-Naml? Why? It's only ants, the ants. All ants ran. One of the ants, when Solomon approached the valley of the ants, one of the ants said, "Oh ants." Why is it called chapter ants? Why? They didn't say nothing. Ants is one verse. Is verse 18. Hold on.
Decided to name it that.
Hold on, though. No,
all right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have interrupted you. Go ahead and finish your.
Yeah, I know. The truth. I'm going to teach you the truth. Just that's what it does. Chapter 27 is chapter An-Naml. It's called Sin. Sin. That's chapter 27. And count how many bars in there is 27. How many sins in there is 93. The chapter is chapter 27 and has 93 verses. That's a coincidence too. Is it a coincidence?
Name of the chapters are
multiple times, but it's a coincidence. Yes,
he said it finally.
What it really is cherry picking the data. Is what it really is. Because you only go to something that works.
Name of the chapters
it works on everything.
It was not original names in the time of the Muhammad, not even from your Islamic history, man. The name of the chapters are added later on the Quran. It's like not always was that names, you know.
I was going to prove to you.
Ultimate.
Why is it called An-Naml?
Let me wrap this up. Okay.
Go ahead.
You're gonna whatever I go to, you're gonna have some coincidence because you're very.
Now you're saying it was only in those chapters. It was not in the verses. It was not in the silver. It was not in the gold. Oh, now wherever you go, you'll find 19 in there. So it's a miracle then. You admitting it. You see, when they denied Prophet Muhammad 1400 years ago, they said, "Oh, this is magic." What do you mean this is magic? I'm speaking Arabic. The Arabic was so great. It was so highly Arabic. I mean, those guys were poets. But they said Prophet Muhammad was speaking magic. That's the admission of recognizing the miracle. You two just said that the miracle, now everywhere there is a miracle 19. So it's not 1 out of 19. It's 19 out of the 19. Liar.
Okay. Well, first let me ask, is the Book of Mormon inspired by God? It's a yes. It's a simple question. Is the Book of Mormon inspired by God?
The Book of who?
Book of Mormon.
What's the Book of Mormon? I don't know what it is.
It's the. You're not from America, so you're not well versed in Mormons. So the Mormons are a religion. Can you just let me finish? So they are a religion that claims that their prophet revealed scriptures to them, and one of those scriptures.
I thought they were Christians. I thought Mormons was Christians using the Bible. I don't know. I mean, all I'm saying is God is telling us the book that.
Okay.
God is telling us.
So bro, you don't think that their book is inspired, correct? Is their book inspired?
Bro, can I answer the question, bro?
Is the book that Joseph Smith revealed?
I don't know. All I'm telling you is
inspired by God. Why can't you just answer this question? It's just a simple no. That's all you have to say.
Any book. Let me answer. Bro, you can impose me an answer. Please. You cannot take you now
dictate you think the Book of Mormon is inspired or not. Why do you need to
I said the only books I consider inspired by God are the book named by God, Allah in the Quran. That's it.
Okay, no. The Book of Mormon's not inspired. Great. Now pick a random number.
I never said that.
How many chapters are in
I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. Allah named some books in the Quran. Allah named the Injil. Bro, yes, you're putting words in my mouth.
That the Book of Mormon is not inspired. Can you name a book that's not inspired then? Is the New York City phone book inspired by God?
Book of Mormon was written.
Are you serious? You see, Bart Ehrman made a little comment and said, hey, I can find a phone book. It's going to be contradictions in it. That's the dumbest argument. Hold on.
Ultimate, just give me any book, any freaking book you consider uninspired. Just name a book.
The Injil, the Torah. The Injil, the Torah.
Not inspired. Not inspired. Give me any book that's not inspired.
What book claims to give you
in front of me? Is this book inspired by God?
Bro, I was hoping you would have objections to what I said. I was hoping that you would have objections that he should be following the Quran as a Gentile.
Name a book that's uninspired. That's not inspired. Name any
you wanted
book
me
that's
speak.
not inspired by God.
What does it have to do? I gave you. I told you the books inspired by God are in the Quran. So I don't know. I don't see the book. I've never seen the Book of Mormons. Now, maybe God is talking about the Book of Mormons. Maybe we need to look it up. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I am not going to go there. All I'm going to tell you, the Injil is in the Quran. The Torah is in the Quran. The Zabur is in the Quran. The Sufi Ibrahim are in the Quran. The Quran is talking about the Quran. So those are inspired by God, Allah. Now you want to just divert people. That's just some unnecessary stuff. Is the Book of Mormons inspired by God? Inspired. Just saying inspired.
There's a reason I want you to name a book. Name a book.
Any book that is not in the Quran is not inspired by God. That's it.
The Book of Mormon. Great. The Book of Mormon. Now, I don't know offhand how many chapters.
Wait. Let me summarize this. You just hit the nail on the head there, Wahid. You've literally now just this is the crux. You literally just said any other book apart from the Quran is not inspired.
By God. I'm talking by God.
Yes.
By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So nothing
inspired. I can inspire you. I can inspire you to write a book as a human being. That's why inspired is vague.
Yes.
It's vague.
No one cares about your random waffling. It's a very simple question. I just need a book. It's totally irrelevant what book you pick.
Exactly.
Going with the Book of Mormon, all right?
Yeah.
Now pick.
Why are you running away from my reasoning? Why are you running away from my reasoning? I reasoned you.
If you let me finish, if you answer my freaking questions,
now he's mad.
Now you're out of yourself. Now you're mad for no reason.
But I said I reasoned you, and you should be reasoning me. You're the reasoned answers. I'm giving you some reasoned answers. You're running away from them. That's your name. I'm exposing your hypocrisy. Of course.
Everybody expecting me to be mad. I am not mad. I am calm. Now you
answer the
please.
question.
You asked me if the book, I don't know what the Book of Mormons, I don't know what it is. I said every book that is
in the book of Mormon. Pick a number between 1 and 52.
Is Talmud God inspired? Is Talmud God inspired?
All right.
That's it.
Just pick a number between 1 and 52. It's not a complicated question. I'm going to prove to you that these numbers are arbitrary and you can do it with any text. So I picked a random text and now I'm picking a random chapter. You understand?
I'm asking you to pick any chapter between 1 and 114. I will prove to you that 1 should be 1, 9 should be 9, 40 should be 9.
That's it. You got enough.
I'm scared. All right, he's gone.
Yep.
I cannot handle that anymore.
Yep. Now, this guy kept on saying he's scared. I'm scared of what? He hung up on me. I am there. How? The scared one runs away. No. Who's scared? The reason answer is scared. Terry was scared. What do you call it? GodLogic got scared, lost his logic, and couldn't handle it. Come on now.
I literally had to argue with him for 5 minutes whether or not the Book of Mormon was inspired or not, because he just wouldn't answer the freaking question. All I was going to say is when he said no, I was going to pick a random chapter to ask him how to pick a random chapter, and then I was going to ask him if I can find a 19 pattern in that chapter. Okay, will you convert some more?
All right, sisters and brothers, I'm not going to let them just monologue there because they're monologuing now. I'll just read some verses. God said in chapter 74 where he talked about 19 because the video is getting long. Running like zebras who are fleeing from the lion. Does each one of them want to receive the scripture personally? God is asking. You want to see the Injil? That's not for you. Personally? Indeed, they do not fear the hereafter. Indeed, this is a reminder for those who wish to take heed. They cannot take heed against Allah's will. He is the source of the righteousness. He is the source of the forgiveness. Peace be upon all of you. Those guys are liars. They run like donkeys. They can't handle the truth. So they're going to keep on running. Again and again, I will change names. I will chase you down. I will hunt you. The truth will hurt you.
Let's go along with this because I didn't know you wanted to do math, so let's do this. Let's actually demonstrate the divine inspiration of the Book of Mormon through mathematical patterns. Because this